In a rare move these days, Republicans and Democrats came together to support a bill that offers Americans affordable housing.
Yeah.
Together they did it. Together.
Don't clap, it's too soon.
Yeah. And then, you know who said he wasn't going to sign it.
Right.
He also shrugged off a closed-door meeting with Senate Republicans about the Iran war that turned into a shouting match, apparently. Take a look.
I think we had a really great meeting, and we're very proud of the party. We like our leader. We like everybody really in the room. I don't like a few people, but that's okay. I think you know who they are.
Said I'm not signing the housing bill. I want to see what happens. We said, look, the housing bill is housing. I made billions of dollars with housing. I know housing better than anybody, maybe anywhere. It's all about the interest rate. Lower the interest rates, you can have all the housing you want. But you have to understand, I don't want to hurt people that own houses too. Despite that, we're doing well with housing. But where we're really doing well is oil is plummeting and costs are coming down. Affordability, we're doing great.
What? He doesn't make any sense. He doesn't make any sense.
You know what? He torpedoed the bill because he wants another bill signed.
Yeah.
Right.
And it seems to me no one wants to sign this bill.
Doesn't have the votes.
It doesn't have the votes. And so he's trying to push it and do all kinds of stuff. It's ridiculous. It's the bill that would force people to have ID when they come to vote. And nobody wants it.
It's
citizenship.
basically it's called the Save America Act,
Yeah.
which is ironic because it's really saving his behind.
Yeah.
Save the Donald Trump behind act.
Yeah.
There are probably portions
But-
of the Save
wait,
America
wait.
Act that could pass, but the bill itself does not
Yeah.
have the votes.
But it
No,
basically
pathetic.
suppresses the vote because when people vote in big numbers, Democrats win. So what's their little trick is to make sure that you come with your birth certificate.
Yeah.
Which you could have. My birth certificate says Josephine Okudo, not Joy Behar.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? I can't vote? A passport, which I happen to have because I have some money and I've been able to travel, or a real ID. And if you don't have those things, they won't let you vote. That's what he wants.
And I think something like 50% or more of Americans don't have passports.
Yeah.
But he's trying to stay out of the slammer. That's what he's trying to do.
Well, listen, this housing bill is a rare success in Washington.
And
the
it's a
president
great
is wrong.
bill.
It's not. Yeah, it's not
It
interest
is.
rates that make lowering interest rates. Yes, would help make housing more affordable. We need more inventory. So this lifts a bunch of hurdles to be able to build more affordable housing. Republicans and Democrats came together to do it. Zillow right now, this analysis found that the average starter home in 240 American cities is $1 million.
Right.
That is unattainable for so many Americans. The good news is this bill can still pass if for 10 days he doesn't veto it, it becomes law, or he still could himself sign it. It also likely would have a veto-proof majority if it went back to Congress. But this is why so many Republicans on Capitol Hill, and I know so many of them, publicly are like, we love this president, he's amazing. And privately, they bash him.
Yeah.
He hurts their agenda. They're going into the midterms with nothing to brag about. This would have been something to tell their constituents they did, and he pulled the rug out from under them. Just real quick, Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, called this bill one of the most significant pieces of housing affordability legislation in American history.
Yeah.
Now he's tanking it 24
Well,
hours
it just
later.
goes to show you he really doesn't care about affordability. He really doesn't care about what's happening to real Americans. He doesn't care about the health care crisis. He doesn't care that people can't afford eggs. He doesn't care that people can't fill their gas tanks. He simply doesn't care. He said the quiet part out loud. He said he didn't care, and he really doesn't. And the other part of this housing bill that I think is extremely important is that it limits the purchases of single-family homes by institutional investors.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have these single-family homes that are passed down from
Yeah.
family to family, and sometimes the younger generation can't afford to pay property taxes, and so they're offered a lot of money by these big corporations like BlackRock and other corporations, and then these huge McMansions get built up in these communities, and the communities then have millionaires and billionaires moving in. This would prevent that from happening. It would keep actually wealth within communities, especially Black and Latino communities that haven't been able to purchase homes. So this is it's just wrong on so many levels. And I actually don't know that Congress will stay in session long enough so that it doesn't get vetoed.
That is part of the question.
Just
because
a
they may break to.
In January, he told reporters he wants to, quote, drive housing prices up for current homeowners rather than lower them for somebody who didn't work very hard. So his son can't buy a house, apparently. and then he said, he told Mike Johnson, that other one, that a few months ago, no one gives a blank about housing. So, America, come on, wake up.
Yeah, but you know what? It's what we've always said. So the elected officials in D.C., the Republicans, bent the knee to Donald Trump as if that was their boss. What we said all along is there will be a reckoning day where they have to turn to their actual boss, which is the voters in the midterms. So now they're turning back to this man they sold their souls for, and he's mad because he not only doesn't care about American affordability, he does only care about himself and the loyalty he didn't get with the bill for Iran. So as a temper tantrum, he turns around and says this thing that was not only bipartisan and popular in D.C. would be popular for Americans because it does hinge on that affordability we said he's never addressed since he got there. And he would rather throw that out, shoot him in his own foot because someone wasn't loyal to him. That's all it was always about, was Donald Trump is for Donald Trump. Period.
Well, the sadness. The craziest thing is that, you know, he could have utilized this.
Yeah.
He could have utilized this. And
For his
he-
legacy.
For his, you
Yeah.
know, he is
Yeah.
chock full of
Legacy.
Inflicted wounds.
inflicted
Yeah.
wounds.
Yeah.
You know, he says things and then he throws it out and then he asks millions of people what they think. And it's kind of like even if he had a thought in his head,
Which he doesn't.
he wouldn't be able to make it articulate because he doesn't trust it. He just says stuff and hopes that it makes sense. This makes no sense to anybody, kind of like not being able to have access to the Epstein files. It doesn't make sense. Like, why is there green stuff growing? Why isn't the green stuff that's growing in there any good for anybody? You know what I mean?
Did you see that wicked meme of Cynthia Erivo? And it said, yes, I swam in the reflection pool.
I haven't seen it.
You know, I
It's
mean,
so good.
It is really.
Well, you know, a thought would die of loneliness in his head.
Well, but the bottom line to all of this is, you know, as annoying as this is, it's no longer relevant to what we all have to do.
That's right.
If you're a Republican, if you're a real Republican who has Republican thoughts and wants to see what remind yourself what the party is, then get out there and find that Republican who you know is not going to be loyal to that man, but who is going to be loyal to the people who put him in. Do the same with the Democrats. Don't just vote because somebody else voted that way. Do your homework and get out there and make sure that you are voting for the country you want to be in. You know, and because we have to teach young folks also that we have to learn how to vote for each other. Because voting for one thing doesn't work. We all get left out in the cold. So this is a joint effort. So make sure you get out there and vote. I'm sorry, what were
I
you
just
going
want
to
to say, last I checked, Republicans buy houses also.
Yes, yes. Yes, they do.